This is Parkes. That's me, that's my ear, that's my helmet, that's my hair, that's my eye, that's someone else's helmet, that's the top of my shirt, that's the strap holding my helmet on, those are various points in the sky, and that's a very New South Walesy looking outline of the CSIRO Parkes Radio Telescope. I came from here, Sydney, if you look at the New South Walesy looking outline, and went all the way to Parkes, here. Now, that's a pretty long way. Long way when you're the passenger in a car. Anyway, we're here now. So, after the long car drive, I really had to go to the urination station. Even in there though, there were cool space facts like these ones. When we made our way in, there were a bunch of displays. This one in particular demonstrates how we picture gravity to work near a very dense object. The ball seems to fall into the gravitational field with an imaginary dense object in the middle. Slides table. On the outside, there are some other cool things in the garden. The one that we just passed was an accurate sundial. That tells you the time in 10-minute divisions over all the months. The one coming up points into the ground towards places on the other side of the world. Some of them were taken though, so the only ones left were China and South America. Now, on to the real deal. The centerpiece, the main course. Tea and fish soup. Wait, no, I mean the CSIRO Parkes Radio Telescope. Now, I've just read all your minds and I can tell the question you're asking is, when is Keshav going to appear on this channel? Wait, no, that was the question I was asking, sorry. Your question was, what am I doing at Parkes? Well, on the 19th of July, I got there, but really, that was just in preparation for the 20th. 50 years ago, on the 20th of July, humans first landed on the moon. Australia was involved heaps in this event, the Apollo missions. We were the country on the other side of the world that could send and receive signals from spacecraft when the astronauts orbited around or when the Earth turned away from them. Australia had three major stations: the Canberra Deep Space Communication Complex, the Honeysuckle Creek Tracking Station, and the CSIRO Parkes Radio Telescope. The Honeysuckle Creek Tracking Station is no longer in operation, with the nearby Canberra Deep Space Communication Complex taking over its job, housing the largest radio telescope in Australia. Back in 1969, when we landed on the moon, however, the telescope at Parkes was the largest in Australia. This made it vital in receiving information from the Apollo 11 spacecraft, as it was more sensitive than the other ones in Australia. What you've been watching in the background is the inside of the building underneath the dish. There's nothing much on the first level or the second level other than some displays on the wall, but the third level was the interesting one though. In the wise words of our tour guide, this, referring to the third level, is where you want to be. On the third level was the control room. There was a computer that showed the positioning of the dish by its azimuth, that's the plane that makes it spin, and the zenith, that's the plane that turns up and down. Also in the room, across the wall, was a very cool and very large computer. That's it there. Once we had looked around in the control room, we got to go out on the platform. We were pretty high up, so thank goodness for the railing. But even with the railing, I felt a bit, The coolest part about this was that we were walking in the meter-wide platform while the dish was moving. You knew it was going to start rotating when the thing made this sound. Then, the massive machine slowly turned right next to us. Every so often, this metal thing would come up behind me and give me a nudge at around 0.18 kilometers per hour, and we would have to move out of the way as it rotated past us. Very cool. The mechanism pretty much turns on two tracks, the azimuth and the zenith, as mentioned earlier, with a big ball bearing in the middle. It's not surprising that the dish moves so slowly. It weighs around 1,000 metric tons. Metric, as in the smart base 10 measurement system that proceeds with logical increments. So, that was pretty much my experience at Parkes. They have a very cool radio telescope, and I suggest that if you're around there, pop in and have a look through it. Just kidding, you can't look through a radio telescope. It receives radio waves and then the computer converts it into something that we can decipher more easily. Over its lifespan, the CSIRO Parkes Radio Telescope has made a major contribution to astronomy and science in general, including discovering over half of all known pulsars. So thank you Parkes, thank you CSIRO, thank you teams that work and have worked at the telescope over the 50 years of its operation, and thank you audience for watching. Here's to many more human adventures in space.